Fellow APS members, my name is Mac Beasley and I am the APS President in 2014. I am pleased that you are interested in the APS Corporate Reform Initiative. As I shall explain, this reform is very important, indeed I would say critical, and the changes that emerge will serve us for decades. Importantly, they will require approval by you, the members. So why corporate reform? First, there are legal reasons. We are out of compliance with the new rules of incorporation for nonprofit organizations in Washington, D.C., where we are incorporated. But much more important, we need to reform to ensure continuing institutional excellence, a major goal of our strategic plan. The APS is 115 years old, and it has been extremely successful. Our Physical Review suite of journals is considered the best in the world. Indeed, 2/3 of the papers published in the Physical Review come from abroad. In addition, over 10,000 physicists from all over the world come to our general meetings. We are increasingly an international organization. At the same time, we all sense the major changes that are going on around us in the modern world, in our personal lives, in our nation, and globally. And the changes are coming with increasing speed. The APS is no different. As Thomas Friedman from the New York Times famously said, the world is flat. I would extend that to say that the world is flat and fast. We must adapt so as to be strategic and agile. At the same time, we need to improve our ability to coordinate the various parts of the society in order to apply our efforts coherently to our major challenges, such as open access. Moreover, we are not alone. Many scientific societies have recently or are now undertaking corporate reform. The American Geophysical Union, the American Institute of Physics, and our neighbors to the north, the Canadian Physical Society, are also undertaking reform exercises, and for exactly the same reasons that we are. Importantly, in approving the Corporate Reform Initiative, the APS Executive Board and the APS Council both expressed the feeling that they had lost effectiveness and strategic focus and that they would welcome reform. For a fuller discussion of the need for corporate reform, I refer you to the article by Michael Turner, last year's APS president, in an article in APS News that is reprinted on this webpage. So what have we done? The APS leadership has formed an ad hoc APS Committee on Corporate Reform. The committee is comprised of the elected members of the APS Executive Board. We have retained a consulting firm, Signet Strategy, to help us in the reform process. The consultants have carried out interviews with the present APS leadership, previous leaders, and a wide range of individuals outside the APS, but with good knowledge of our society. Interviews with some of our sister societies about their governance and structure are underway at the present time. These data will be essential information in the deliberations of the committee. The committee is also hearing input directly from the 3 APS operating officers. A summary of what has been accomplished and the timeline for future steps is available on this webpage. By the time you view this video, the Committee on Corporate Reform will have met on February 23rd and 24th to discuss these data and establish design criteria both for our governance bodies, the Executive Board and the Council, and the structure of our executive, the 3 operating offices. Following that, the initial recommendations of the committee will be refined and discussed with various stakeholders and presented to the APS Council and the APS Committee on Constitution and Bylaws. Based on the feedback from these discussions, the Committee on Corporate Reform will prepare its final recommendations for formal deliberation and vote by the APS Council, and eventually the vote of the membership sometime in the fall of this year. Throughout this whole process, we will update this webpage as appropriate, including further videos to provide context. The APS members are welcome at any time to comment on the process or provide input using the comment questions field of this webpage. We urge you to do so. This is truly a historic undertaking by our society, and we encourage you to follow the process and participate in the deliberations. Thank you.